In this video, we're going to be replacing the rear link on this 2007 Mazda CX-9. We're going to remove our rear wheel. It's going to be a 21 millimeter. We'll go ahead and take off our lug nuts now. So right here we have our top link nut. It's going to be a 14 millimeter nut, and in the center will usually be a hex key. If this is a factory piece, there'll usually be a hex key or a hex bit in the middle. Unfortunately, ours is completely rounded out and stripped out, so we will not be able to use that. So what we're going to do is just try and loosen this up with a 14, see if the center here spins. If it does, we'll move on to the next option. Yeah, looks like the whole piece is going to spin together. So the next thing we're going to have to do is try and get in behind there on the shoulder on the back up against this arm with a pair of locking pliers. Now if you can get a good grip on that and lock down that shoulder, you can spin your nut off. So now we've applied some heat to the front. We're still having a hard time getting right up in here to the shoulder because this arm actually kicks back and out a little bit. It's tough to get onto that shoulder, but with a good amount of heat, what we're able to do is now pop the ball out of the socket from that link. We can now take this link and swing it out of the way. Now this ball here, or this shoulder, we can actually get on with a pair of locking pliers. All right, now from the front, we'll use a 14 millimeter on our impact. We can take that nut off. And now we can take the ball right out with our nut. All right, so now on the bottom portion of our link, we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to get in front of the boot, see if we can get on that shoulder. Now because we're replacing these, we may just jump right into using some heat and melting them right out of the actual link itself. So now that we've applied some heat to the nut, what we're actually going to do is use a small pry bar and see if we can pop the link right off of the actual ball end here. We can discard our link now. So now that we have our ball joint or our ball end here out of our link, go ahead and grab that with a pair of locking pliers. And on the nut side, it'll be a 14 millimeter. We're just going to go a little slow because we're going to want that those locking pliers to lock up against something without doing damage. So now to install our new link, what we're going to need to do is find our parking brake cable because our link actually went through this bracket. So we're going to realign that bracket. And then put our top link in. And to hold that there, we're going to put the nut on the other side and just put it on a couple of threads. So now we're going to put our bottom link into our sway bar. We're going to use a small pry bar right in here and pull our pry bar down. And we'll take our nut and thread that on. So our new link does not have a hex in the center. So we're going to back up our link with a 14 millimeter, and our nut is going to be a 15 millimeter. We're going to snug these up, and then we'll torque them all down. We're going to torque down our links to 37 foot-pounds. And we'll do the same on the bottom. After finishing this installation, it's important to have an alignment done on your vehicle. Go ahead and put our wheel back on. And what I'll do here is I'll put a top and a bottom lug nut on, and I'll rock the rim back and forth onto that rotor face, try and get it as flush as possible on the back, and then I'll continue with the rest of the lug nuts. Once we have our lug nuts in, we'll come in and snug these down. We'll lower the vehicle on the ground so the wheel won't spin, and we'll torque them down. So now with the vehicle on the ground, we're going to go ahead and torque down our lug nuts. We're going to do that in a crisscross pattern. We're going to torque it down to 85 foot-pounds.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.